these tariffs, any of these trade deals come from any kind of plan. It feels very ad hoc. All the reporting shows it's very ad hoc. There were, when he was doing the tariffs, when it was a Liberation Day last year, in the book of Regime Change by Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, he's just out here saying, give them 20, give them 10% tariffs. There's no plan here. What does that mean for the economics of the United States?
There's no plan. What there is in Donald Trump's mind is leverage, and the leverage comes from the idea that Canada exports 75% of its exports to the U.S., we export 15% of our exports there. So they're a lot more dependent on us than we are on them. And that leads Donald Trump and his Trumpian mind to decide that he can kick them around and bully them and insist on everything, including, by the way, trying to undermine their sovereign rights, which is one of the reasons these talks collapsed. He was telling the Canadian negotiators that you can't make trade deals with other countries. And frankly, no country's going to stand up for that. And good for Mark Carney for doing what he did. His approval rating, by the way, is about 10 miles above where Trump's is for exactly this reason. Now, you asked about the impact on Canadian and American consumers. American consumers are already facing the brunt of higher prices through Donald Trump's tariffs and the war in Iran. Both of those are hitting the consumer in their wallet. They're pushing exactly the wrong way on affordability, which is people's main concern. Now, these last stream of tariffs are on things like sporting goods, on alcohol, on spirits, textiles, some electronics. But the war in Iran, let's not forget about that. That's putting real upward pressure on not just gas prices, but diesel prices, and that feeds into grocery costs.
We put the map up there about the things, some items that are impacted by the tariffs. These are the battleground states where Canada is a top exporter. North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Maine, Ohio, Iowa. This feels like a terrible, if nothing else, political midterm strategy, Jared.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
So look, economists, not political commentator, but yes, you're right.
I mean, we used to call the economists all the time in my book. I'm like, can we do this? Does this make sense? And what is this going to hurt?
There are Democrats who are looking at this and saying this is helpful to us in precisely the way I just said. They're going before their voters saying affordability. Remember how you put this guy in the White House to help you with prices? It's not that he's just not doing anything to help you. It's that he's pushing hard in the other direction. You heard Susan Collins today is in a bit of a struggle up there, rejecting this Canadian tariff, sounding a lot closer to Carney than to Trump. But I want to bring somebody else to the table here, a different political leader who I think is loving every day of this. And that guy's name is Xi Jinping. This is the Prime Minister of China. And
he'll be here soon.
And he will be here in late September. And he's watching all this and rubbing his hands together and saying, bad for America, good for China. Now, what does Mark Carney got to do when a country like ours, to whom he exports 75% of their goods, when that barrier gets shut, when that barrier gets raised and that channel gets closed, he looks to other countries. Same thing in Europe, same thing in South America. And what country is sitting there saying, hey, we'll do business with you? It's China. So not only is this screwing consumers in the near term, it's undermining America competitiveness in the long term.
So on President Xi, this afternoon, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent came out and said that the U.S. is going to put economic pressure, economic sanctions like nobody has ever seen before on countries that do business with Iran. China buys 90% of Iranian oil.
Correct.
And we've heard these kind of threats before, but when it comes to Russia, right, China makes up 50% of the buying of Russian oil, and secondary sanctions haven't been placed on Russia to try to get Russia to stop its war there. And so the question that was posed to Secretary Bessent today was pretty direct about why all this talk? Why not just move forward with it? I want everybody to listen to Bessent's response.
Well, we are giving everyone the opportunity to remedy bad behavior. Why would I want to blow up the global financial system? We believe that it is important to level set and give people a cure period, but they should know that that will move very quickly and that we are serious.
He didn't say China a single time during his
Right.
address today. And folks should remember 1 year ago, Donald Trump tried to do a trade war, 145% tariffs. China said, okay, we'll do 125% tariffs in return, and we'll cut off your access to rare earth minerals. Donald Trump and the Trump administration stood down.
Right.
Is there any teeth behind what Scott Bessent today said? Is there any country, including China, that takes them
Your
seriously?
analysis is exactly the same as mine. There's no teeth there, and the reason there's no teeth there really redounds to China. You played Mark Carney standing up to Trump, and that's great for him. That's great for his politics. It certainly makes sense in terms of the Canadian outlook. But they do depend a lot more on our economy than we on them. China, on the other hand, Trump has not been able to bully China. He has stepped down every time they've come back at him. Why? Because China exports some things to us that we desperately need. You've heard of rare earths. These are critical minerals that go into our electronics, our defense goods, our missiles. And China is well aware of the bargaining power, the leverage they have over Donald Trump in this regard. And what you just heard there was Scott Bessent purring like a pussycat as soon as somebody raised China, because he knows that that's a key linchpin in going after Iran economically. Can't do it.